Ladies and gentlemen, the Deputy President of the Republic has been impeached. He was impeached yesterday overwhelmingly. By overwhelmingly, I mean that 282 members of parliament voted to send Rigathi Gachagua home against the 44 who opposed the motion. Remember, you only need 233. This was 50 more MPs that said the Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, had to go home. The question that comes to our mind is, why was that so? What is the real reason why Rigathi Gachagua was overwhelmingly impeached? If that is a topic you are interested in, I urge you to stay tuned. And of course, if you are watching for the first time, please take a moment and subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss the subsequent videos. Otherwise, without further ado, let us jump right into the subject of the day. To understand why Parliament overwhelmingly voted to get rid of Rigathi Gachagua and why the hearing at Senate might have the same outcome, the Deputy President did one mistake. He did one unforgivable mistake in politics. And that mistake is called insubordination and abuse of power. Let me explain. The Deputy President, having been given power by the President through an executive order number 2 of 2023, somehow he started to listening to those who were telling him that he was either equal or superior to the President. And this got into his mind. He believed, actually, that he was either equal to the President. If you remember his sentiments, I was elected the way he was elected, I have the same mandate, I have 7.2 million votes, things like that. So he believed he was a co-president. And for that reason, he could even address the nation after the President had done so. Great act of insubordination. The President and the Cabinet would meet and discuss something, and the Deputy President will go openly under the banner of fighting for his people and oppose it. Something that was decided in a cabinet where he sits. Okay? Whether it is the finance bill, the Deputy President would be heard saying he's being fought because he stood with Kenyans. He decided to go the populist route against what was expected of his office. As the principal assistant of the President, he was not co-president. He was exactly that, an assistant to the President, doing what the President told him. But somehow the Deputy President believed that by virtue of being on the same ticket, by virtue of coming from the vote-rich Mount Kenya, he held equal power. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where the rain started beating the Deputy President. They believe that he was equal to the President. And I said the main reason why he was impeached was insubordination stroke abuse of power. And abuse of power in this case, as far as I'm concerned, is not what he did in terms of business as etc. No, but how he treated the MPs. You see, the Deputy President is one of those leaders who are persuaded that since they are the senior-most leaders from their region, every other elected leader from the region should naturally be loyal to them, should naturally be taking orders from them. So he was shocked when he would see the likes of Moses Kuria, he would hear the likes of Kindiki, or some MPs like the Kawanjikus of this world having contrary opinion to what he believed in. Okay? So what did he do? How did he deal with them? He didn't persuade them. He didn't go the route of, gentlemen, I think you are holding different views. However, I was thinking this is how we need to move this region forward. No. He went for their jugulars. He would even go the Uhuru's route. Remember, he would go to events like the one the Akarinos had in Kasarani. Uhuru would go there. He would hijack that and really talk down at MPs. He would really look down at them, especially MPs from Mount Kenya. He would be like, I'm the one who created you. I'm the one who ensured that you are voted for, and I will send you home. Take this to the bank. And that is the tone Rigathi took. Oh, I'm listening to the ground. And from the ground, you people, if you are not towing the line, you are going home. I can see many people. So once you start intimidating leaders, you are creating an enemy that you will never defeat. Because remember, these elected MPs have powers to send you home. Those are the people who have power to send you home. But then you choose not to persuade them. You choose to intimidate them. Let me take you back to 2018 to paint the picture, a contrary picture, by the way. President Ruto was in the same or even worse scenario than the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua is in now. Because when Raila Odinga joined Uhuru Kenyatta, he did not just join for the sake of joining. He joined under an agreement that he was going to be supported to be the president. Yet Ruto also had ambitions. So it's not like now when Rigathi is not vying, he has not declared that he is vying for 2027. So there is no conflict in terms of are they fighting over the position of 2027. But in this case, Ruto had made it clear that he was going for 2022 presidential election. Uhuru then brought in an opponent and endorsed that person. And so it was very difficult for Deputy President then, Dr. Ruto. But what happened? There were even plans to impeach the Deputy President then. So what happened? Why didn't they impeach him? Because their relationship was worse than what we had today. Uhuru was literally trying to replace Ruto with Raila. So it's not as if he didn't see the need to impeach him. Because impeaching Ruto would have made things very easier for Uhuru. It meant that Ruto was not going to vie anymore. He was not going to be a leader of any sort. And he would have eliminated his enemy. But he couldn't. Why? Because Ruto had serious support in parliament. Ruto knew how to treat the MPs to the point that even though those MPs were under persecution and standing with Ruto was costing them a lot, they would still stand with Ruto, no matter what. Because Ruto made them feel respected, and Ruto had them. He would listen to them. He would caucus with them most of the time. He would sit down with the MPs from various regions. Muhammad Ali from where? Didinas Baraza from Western. Muhammad Ali from Coast. He would sit with the Kinanidinyor. All these MPs, he would be with them to listen to their ideas and listen to what they were proposing. He approached these people as leaders. He treated them as elected leaders that they were. Rigathi, on the other hand, believed that these elected leaders were inferior, were people who were so below him that even sitting down with them was a waste of time. So he would rather prefer dictating. And to some extent, the MP said, this is not the kind of leader we want. Even if this is the leader that we have in this region, we rather have no leader in this region, but this is not the kind of leader we are going to have. So his main mistake, if you ask me, ladies and gentlemen, aside from other charges that are there, I think the main reason why Rigathi Gachagua was impeached and might also not survive Senate is because of insubordination. He thought the president was his equal, and he started fighting the president. Even when you listened to the DP during his tour of Nairobi and Central Province, former Central Province, he was very categorical. Huyu mtu nani angemchagua if it was not for me? We are the people who made sure he is where he is. Okay? In fact, according to him, he said that if it were not for him, Ruto would have not been elected. that he was given mandate by 7.2 million people. He had the same mandate as the president. So that feeling that he was equal to the president made Rigathi Gachagua, the deputy president, to undermining the president. The president would say, as a cabinet, we are fully behind the finance bill. He would go through his people and we will be like, hii tunaangusha. Why? He has equal power. He's been persuaded the president is his equal. So things will be decided, but he would oppose them openly. Remember, when given a chance, he would paint Ruto as a hypocrite. He would be like, oh, the president said this, now he's saying this. Mimi, I won't lie. I won't join him in lying to Kenyans. Mimi, I'm a truthful man. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, it didn't work well for him because the president was seeing somebody they can no longer work with, but MPs were also seeing a tyrant who was trying to dictate them and undermine them and think that their positions were inferior, that insignificant. Somebody getting elected as an MP is not a joke. And once you are elected as an MP, you have a mandate, you have a role, actual mandate. You have the oversight role, you have representation role, and legislation. Unlike the deputy president, who is just described in the constitution as an assistant to the president, these MPs have real role, real constitutional roles. But the deputy president chose to look down upon them, undermine them whenever he could, and incite the public against them. To some extent, even some of them lost property because of this particular incitement. So when they got an opportunity to get back at the deputy president, you saw how they debated with emotion. You saw how people were personal. Because anytime the DP got a chance, he would paint them as hyenas, house of the absurds, and many other things. And also when he got the chance to defend himself, he decided to paint his boss as the worst person ever. So once you reach that level, you've crossed the Rubicon. Once you reach that level where your boss is the worst person you've ever seen and the MPs are the most mediocre people you know, then how do you expect these people to treat you moving forward? They will get rid of you. And so that is why the deputy president was impeached, ladies and gentlemen. In my opinion, the deputy president would still survive impeachment if he had the MPs on his side. But you see, when those MPs also don't like you, when those MPs also look at you and they see somebody who is out to undermine them and paint them in the most negative way and incite the public against them to the point that it is even causing harm to them and even destroying their properties, I tell you the truth, those MPs were not going to hesitate to impeach Rigathi Gachagua. Even in Senate, majority of them will not be kind to him because he had not built a rapport with the legislatures. He had not made them feel appreciated. Not by way of bribing them or doing what, but just treating them as fellow leaders. And that is all that Ruto did. Ruto treated MPs as fellow leaders to the point that these MPs were willing to go into the political oblivion with him. They were standing by him no matter what. Because he did not buy their loyalty. He earned their loyalty. On the other side, Rigathi wanted to force that loyalty. I'm your senior-most leader from Mount Kenya, thou shalt have no other leader apart from me. And if any person try to oppose me, I will incite the Kikuyus and Mount Kenya voters against you and you will go home. So either toe the line or ship out. That doesn't work. I have repeatedly said that in a democracy, the people you need the most are the people who hold the power to keep you in office. And those MPs, they are not asking for anything from Rigathi Gachagua. They were simply demanding that he respect the institution. But when now you've gone and you've called them names and you've painted them as the worst people out of touch, your president is the most hypocritical person, a liar, and etc., how do you expect to work with them? And that's why I was saying that even if Rigathi Gachagua was to be saved by Senate or the courts, it will be very rough for him moving forward because the MPs will not want to work with him, guaranteed, and the president, of course, is done with him. Now that he has made it clear that he does not respect the president in any way and he believes Ruto is the worst person, you cannot be an assistant to somebody you believe you are superior to. It doesn't work like that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to give a long video, but I just wanted to tell you that if you asked me, the main reason why Rigathi Gachagua was sent home, apart from other charges, is the sin of insubordination. and abuse of power. Abuse of insubordination was the disrespect of the president. He saw the president as nobody and painted him as the worst person. He incited the public against his boss. And then abuse of power is when he thought that he could use his power to intimidate and the MPs and undermine them and do everything against the MPs. And so he found himself where he is today. That's all I had for this. If you found this video useful, please let me know in the comment section. And if you like this kind of videos, please remember to subscribe so that you don't miss subsequent videos. Otherwise, let us meet in the next video.